I'm going to record this meeting. Thanks, guys. It's quiet today. How is your guys' 3-day week? I mean, I guess it's only been 2 days been thus far.
A busy week.
Yeah, I feel it too. I feel pretty busy. Feels like a lot of fall events, stuff going on. What's keeping you busy, Esther?
Just work. This grant is killing me.
Grant.
Esther, what grant are you working on?
The outdoor equity grant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Hello, Jan. Good to see you. Hi, April. Good morning.
Morning.
Anyone else? What has your week been filled with thus far?
Busy. I'm sure everyone else has.
Mine's been filled with planning and meetings and figuring out some catering stuff for an event we're having early November. So
Oh, nice. What event is it?
so I'm part of a missions organization called One Collective, and we have our catalysts, which are leaders worldwide, coming to Fresno. So it's exciting stuff. You're going to be able to see some of our partners and the work that we're doing in Lowell and Hidalgo. That's exciting stuff. And they have dietary restrictions, so that's what
Always.
I'm navigating as. If you know of any good caterers, shoot me a line.
Mediterranean
Yeah,
grill is always a good catering option.
they're on my list. Yeah, they were the top one for Mediterranean food.
Yeah. Trosco's good.
Trosco's good. Yeah.
Hey, Andrew. Good to see you. Friends, we're doing something new today. We're actually going to start off in breakout rooms just to give us a time to connect a little bit more one-on-one rather
Andrew.
than, huh?
Andrew, we get the message.
Okay, I didn't know. Just
I'm like,
making
is it
sure.
an accident?
No.
Wait, was there a baseball game or something this week that I missed? Did I miss?
It's a
something?
big one today. Big one today.
Oh, okay. So they haven't won yet.
The Giants are already in playoffs. The Dodgers may or may not be, depending on how they do tonight.
Okay.
So this is an act of faith.
We're
And
with
I
you.
didn't mean to interrupt you. We just,
No, you can interrupt anytime, friends. Okay, but before we go into breakout rooms to chat and hang out, Andrew, do you want to talk to us a little bit about ERC? Do you want me to throw up a poll? Or do you want to do that when we come back?
Yeah, I mean, might as well now. You already mentioned it. So I was talking to a nonprofit friend, and he's like, "Hey, are you guys applying for the employee retention credit?" I'm like, don't know what that is. You should tell me more. And then was started to working with accountant. If you want to throw that poll up, Andy, I wanted to see if you all know about it, what your kind of level of information was around it. So if you would fill out this poll, what is your level of knowledge around the employee retention credit? You could say, we know about it and have applied. We heard about it, are looking into it. What are you talking about? Or help do a workshop. So basically there's a program to get back some of the wages that you have paid over the last year as a nonprofit. So if you all can fill that out, that would be awesome.
just tell us now what we need to do to get back money.
Yeah. You couldn't answer twice, so.
We heard about it through our payroll company. So we talked with our payroll company, and I guess they're going to work with us, but they're going to take a percentage of it.
Is it as easy as PPP? Because if it's easy, then we shouldn't be paying other people to do it. Looks like Andrew froze. Are you there, Andrew?
Now I can hear.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't know anything about it and would love to be able to do it.
If it's as easy as PPP, just tell us how to do it and we'll do it right now.
I think,
Andrew, isn't it retaining the employer taxes? If you had employees during COVID, then I think you can get a rebate on returning those employer taxes that you put out.
yeah, Andy, did you get the results in?
Yeah.
Maybe-
Can you guys
maybe
see
I
them when
missed
I
it.
end the poll?
Oh, I don't know. We don't see anything now.
Okay.
maybe-
Now we do.
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about it? We heard about it because you emailed it out in the agenda yesterday.
Okay.
Am I the
cool.
only one that clicked on it?
Spoiler alert.
Esther
Yeah.
is a perpetual overachiever.
I just clicked on the link. I was like, what's this, money? Okay.
So what I may do then is I can organize. So we're contracting with an accountant to work on he's going to do he is going to submit for us, and then in return we'll cover, I think it's 10%. He gets 10% of that fee for us to do it. So I can work on maybe setting up a webinar, have a conversation with him, and then anybody that can join, and we'll record it and send it out for anybody that can't. I
Is
don't
it
know
too
if I'm
quickly?
frozen or not, but
No, you're fine now.
You're good.
Hey, Andy, are we expecting better Blackstone on this call? Because I had another link. I had 3 links for this morning and one of them didn't work. So I don't know if everyone got the correct link or not.
No, he just sent an email, said he wasn't coming.
Yeah, he's not coming, but
Is
how
he coming?
interesting. Did anyone else have multiple links?
Yes,
Yeah.
Where?
In our calendar.
Calendar.
We
I
had 3
did.
invites on our calendars.
I had 2.
strange.
The first one didn't work.
Okay, after this meeting, I'm deleting it all. I'm not getting any emails of people saying, where are you guys? So
Well,
I
because there
don't
was
know, but
2
after
different
this meeting,
events.
I'll delete all of them and then resend you an invite for next month. So don't be confused.
Okay.
Hey, Andrew, real quick,
only have
when is
one.
that due?
Strange.
that's a great question that I can't answer.
Maybe I
Okay.
should read that link that Andrew sent out.
I know there's credits for last year and for this year. So he's looking into, I think it's all of 2020 and then the first 2 quarters of 2021. So our accountant's looking into both of those. So yeah. Brent Taylor is who we're working with. I don't know, is anybody else working with anybody already? But I could have Brent do a webinar next week.
Does Angela know about that then too?
Yeah, so so Angela, our bookkeeper, she was looking into it. We were talking about it. She's like, it's over my pay grade, like,
Oh.
in terms of all the logistics and details. So we're contracting with Brent to do it. So yeah.
Because Angela is all I work with too, so then.
Yep.
Okay.
Nicole, in the business world, are you doing this? Are you aware of ERC?
Hey guys, sorry, I jumped on late. I had an appointment that ran late, so I am so lost with what we're even talking about. My apologies.
That's okay. There's a link on the agenda, so you can read more about it on the agenda.
Okay.
It's not nothing that has to be done right now.
Okay, but I will follow up with you just for context.
It's like more free money from the government.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like that.
right?
I just put the link in chat.
Okay,
It's our
thanks, Andy.
specialty.
The
Free
government
money.
specialty right now is free money.
Yeah. Just don't get used to it and add it to your budget.
Lord.
I
All right,
agree.
friends, I'm gonna give us a few minutes. 5 seems a little quick. But I'm gonna do, I don't know, I don't want to fall too far behind. So I'll do like 5 to 8 minutes in breakout rooms. So when you see the little join room on your screen, please feel free to do that. Let me close this room.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hi, everybody. Sorry. I'm a little
Hello,
late.
good to see you. You know what? Before we go into breakout rooms, Jasmine, let me just let you introduce yourself really quickly. Jasmine is going to sit in this meeting as a guest this morning. So if you just want to tell us really quickly who you are, who you're with, and anything else you want to share, Jasmine, go ahead. And then we're going to break out into breakout rooms and chat for a minute.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jasmine Young. I am with the Downtown Fresno Partnership. I'm the program manager for the partnership and the executive director for the Downtown Fresno Foundation, which is our second nonprofit. If you haven't heard of our program, we are located in assisting a specific district of downtown Fresno, primarily along Fulton, but even extending out, assisting with our businesses and property owners regarding clean, safe activity, marketing, and event assistance as well. So I'm super excited to be a part of this and so happy to get to know all of you and just learn a lot from each of your programs.
Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome.
All right, friends, I'm going to open these rooms and you can just hop on in when you're ready. Jose, do you see the little join room on there?
Yes, the question I had, what's the purpose of the break rooms?
Oh, they're just to give us more one-on-one chat rather than popcorning around and just like saying, hey, I'm Jose and this is all we got going on. We're just going to talk one-on-one to connect more.
Okay.
Hey, Melanie, it's up to you if you'd like to join a breakout room and share what's going on in firm. Can you still hear me, Melanie? Hey all, I know that was super fast. How did it go, Andrew?
Jose said it was a process of exclusion.
I don't know what that means.
We got through two of our four. I don't know about the other groups.
Okay.
That was
Sweet.
fun.
All
Here's
right.
being in
We'll get some more
Southeast,
time to
you're
chat at the
isolated.
end. We'll get some more time to chat at the end, and in that time you'll get to kind of choose your chat room, and it'll be a little bit more focused than just hello and hanging out. But before we move on, we are actually introducing a new partner. So I know last month you guys got to hear a little bit from Hector introducing himself and Hidalgo, but they are going to spend some time sharing with us about who they are, where they are, their vision and values, and allow you guys some time to just ask some questions. So Hector, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. Excited to be
Share
part
when
of
you're
this
ready.
really cool, just cluster of organizations. Man, you guys are all awesome in this breakout room. I just got really excited hearing about some of the things that are going on and what's keeping you excited and filled. Yeah, man, where do I start? So Hidalgo CDC, we were founded basically, it begun about 6 years ago, before my time. Through some of our board members, which were our residents as well, they've kind of carried on the work. And it's Hidalgo as a community is this really unique place because it is textbook what happens to a community when residents are not involved in planning the community. So about 30 years ago, the city made this great decision to build the 180 freeway with no say from the residents in the area. And what happened there is it was voted, it was passed. 30 years later, construction began with no say from the residents. So one of our big things and something we advocate for is resident voice in, resident voice in everything that we do. Sorry, I just got a message here. So our mission and values, so I'll just read this off, and this is all a live document. Huh? That's as far as our core values go. Hidalgo CDC's mission and vision is to listen, organize, and empower voices in the Hidalgo neighborhood through resident engagement, housing advocacy, and community development. Our goal is to improve the economic, physical, and civil infrastructures of our defined geography, thereby bringing hope and neighborhood renewal in our community. So geographically, we are separated to the north by the 180 freeway. That really just cuts through. And to the south, it's Belmont Avenue. To the east, that would be all the way to Cedar. And to the west, that would be First Street, which borders Romaine Playgrounds, if anyone's familiar with the area there. And what that does, unfortunately, it creates a bottlenecks to the north. So you have the 180 freeway that cuts off everything else, creating kind of these blind spots where even lighting is not available. And that leads to nefarious activity, should we say, in the general area. So our core values, we, again, want to empower the voice and leadership within and among the residents in our communities, promoting inclusion, solidarity, across the spectrum, race, age, legal status, especially. We really have a try-on mentality, which we thoroughly believe in and are excited about. Like everyone here, most folks here, we're asset-based community. Methodology is what we carry for CDC. And we also believe in integrated community transformation, which includes a faith-based expression of holistic care for our residents and how we just approach everything. I think that's really important. Our geographic area is about 10 blocks by 9 blocks, and we are comprised of 30% homeowners in our area. So we've been doing some work with that and identifying who these key stakeholders are, learning that it's generational housing. So we have multiple generations living in one household. And learning also that our residents are excited to bring change, to bring sidewalks, to bring parks, to bring things that their children can enjoy to their community. So we have a really cool Mixteco population as well. And it's been really unique to learn about the culture and also just identify some of the barriers that this people group in our area is facing. Let's see, sorry, I can keep just ranting on. So both the ED, so myself, and our board chair, Hedman, have grown up in this neighborhood together. I think combined, the average is the 15 years of lived experience in the community. My mother still lives in the communities, and I have family and friends there. So I grew up going to the corner market, where I've now talked to the business owners about providing healthy snacks for our kids. You know, I make green smoothies for them. Sorry, I go. What's exciting for me really about this organization, this CEDP cohort, I call it, and the work that we're doing is just really learning best practices. I want to learn from each and every one of you guys. I think it's really important to see what's worked for you, and again, the try-on mentality, see if it's applicable for where we are and the work that we are interested in doing. I'm excited for just the capacity building that Andy brings to the table and helping us internally build up those structures and things that keep us running for the long haul. So what questions do you guys have for me? I don't want to keep talking. I can rant on forever.
How many are living in the community, Hector, that you're at? Is it like a communal group there with the apartments?
Sorry, I'm trying to understand the question a little more.
Yeah, do you have a community specifically where you're based out of that you're living together with? Kim and Contreras, are they part of that too?
Oh, so they are long-term residents, and Kim is part of our board. And as of now, we're using the resource room downstairs as a home-based office. So that's kind of where we are there. We are in talks with the local church, Church of Christ Church, to make that hopefully a landing point, a meeting up point, gathering area for our residents. But that's where we are now.
Are you, Hector, are you guys working with like a parent group at Hidalgo as well as residents who don't have children and connected to the elementary school?
Correct. So the parent group was a lot stronger before COVID, like most things. There's still good connection there. And through our food distributions and diaper distributions that we've been doing, we've been able to keep in touch with these residents that have been really strong and have expressed interest. On the other end of the spectrum, those without children, we've been having pretty good success with just having learning conversations. I'm a big advocate of bringing a big jug of coffee and seeing if anyone wants to have some coffee with me and talk. So we've seen that. There's a older population, predominantly African-American, which sits on their porch sometimes, and they're the best people to watch and know what's happening in the area. So it's really been, it's just, again, exciting and really eye-opening to see the different perspectives and the generational observations that people have and the stories they can tell. Yeah. So we're tapping into everyone and anyone we can. Excited about the newer generation, 18, 19-year-old kind of young adults that are not in the workforce either due to legal reasons or not in the workforce or not in school for the same reasons. So excited about the workforce training with that.
That's awesome. Thank you, Hector. Does anybody have any more questions about the neighborhood? I know you're tucked in between a few of us.
Yeah, or about myself, feel free.
All right, so I've updated the roster so you guys can see at the bottom of the newsletter tomorrow his contact information. So if you ever want to call, text, send him an email, feel free to do that. And welcome aboard. We're excited to have you, Hector.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Hey, Joe, when you're ready, we would love to hear an update on you now that you're back, about sabbatical and even what's going on in Jackson.
Sure. Oh, so happy. We were gone, so you didn't see me for 5 months here at these meetings. Our organization gave us the opportunity to go on sabbatical, and that meant we were in Colorado and Wyoming for better part of half the year. So what an amazing experience. I could talk on and on and on about some of those lessons, but one of the things that I learned coming back, which could bring value to this group, is how much better things got while I was gone. Sometimes I realize, like, as a leader, I've become a bottleneck to the best ideas. And when I got out of the way, we realized that our residents and our volunteer leaders and the people who are running things ongoing in our neighborhood rose to the service. In fact, some new folks even got on board trying to fill some holes. And so in some ways, the learning lesson for me was getting out of the way was one of the best things that my neighbors needed to get in the way and to get in. Getting out was the best thing for them to get in. So we just find ourselves kind of in happy space as we return to the Jackson neighborhood. We live in the Jackson neighborhood. We work, alongside those 8 blocks by 12 blocks and 923 homes. Everything we do is resident led. And so we find ourselves kind of in happy space watching these neighbors lead various initiatives. And that's been really fun. I think, with regard to community engagement, having got back, we're continuing on with things like our neighborhood association. We had a neighborhood association meet. Our neighborhood association meets every Friday, the last Friday of the month. In fact, maybe Andy, if you could screen share a photo for us, that'd be really helpful. This is just an example of the work that we do. Andy, you might have that. There we go. We meet outside. And this particular meeting, we called it the Tournament of Wants. Over the last 4 or 5 months, neighbors have come up with about 16 solutions to solve some of our neighborhood's greatest issues. These are their solutions, all asset-based. And this is what we call the Tournament of Wants. So we bracketed, almost like the same way you would do a football tournament, we bracketed all of those solutions against one another, and then we voted until there were a final 2, and then we chose one that won out via vote. Thanks you so much for sharing that, Andy. That's 153 neighbors at our association meeting in 2 languages. And so really, this is the kind of stuff that we're so excited about in Jackson. We ended up one of the we're going to do 2 solutions in 2021. Act on 2 solutions. One is a little pocket park in our neighborhood that's right now nothing exists on, but the city of Fresno owns. We'd like to turn that into a green space. And then our neighbors want to work on some of our safe streets initiatives with regard to speeding and donuts in our streets. So some neighbors have some good ideas there. So in 2021, that's the kind of stuff we'll be working on. It's fun to see neighbors come up with solutions. That's been such a rewarding kind of thing in the last couple of years here, watching neighbors do that. So that's some of the stuff residents are working on from an institutional perspective. We're involved in the Drive initiative, working with the community hub, setting up a neighborhood hub in Jackson, and as well working with the city of Fresno on the corridor, Kings Canyon corridor, and working with them on that. So good stuff happening there, and really happy to be back. Happy to be back in this group. I learned so much from this group, and always appreciate the value that we all bring. So I'm so happy to be a part of this.
It's just, I understand.
Hey, thank you, Joe. Welcome back.
Thank
Does anyone have any specific questions for Joe? Comments?
What's your leadership takeaway? Obviously, you kind of mentioned stepping back, but what is your leadership insight from your sabbatical?
I think for me, it's been that I live with this kind of internal inertia that is hurried, rushed, intense, hardworking, and all of that, of course, is valued in our culture. But I think really the real reality is that those things, that's just a slow way of dying. And so I think getting away, what it showed me once again is it slowed that internal inertia, and it made me a better listener, more patient, more gentle. And I hope I bring that into the leadership in our neighborhood. I hope that I can be patient and unhurried and unrushed and walk a little bit slower. I've been walking at 6 miles an hour, which is a fast walk. I need to learn to walk at 3 miles an hour, which is a normal pace. And I think our neighbors would appreciate that from me. And so I hope that that shapes my leadership moving forward.
Thanks again, friend. We're glad you're back and thank you for sharing that.
Thanks so much.
As most of you guys know, at the end of this month, we're actually going to gather together all of our teams and especially our boards and meet for our annual, I think it's annual, all board retreat. It's coming up towards the end of this month. And so we have a small committee of folks that have been committed to planning out all of the details and working hard to make this happen. And so Esther, if you wouldn't mind just updating the partners on where we're at with the planning and what they can expect.
Yes, I would love to. Thank you all. I'm so looking forward to seeing you all on October 26th in the evening. It is a Tuesday evening, and we have all agreed that that looks like it's probably the best evening for us all to gather with our different board members. 6 p.m. Thank you, Andy. Have dinner together, see each other's eyeballs, get some really good, some board training, equipping for our boards, and just be able to network together. We're going to be able to do that in person and virtually, depending on your board's comfort level and where everyone is at with whether they're feeling up or down or sideways or COVID or non-COVID, vaccinated or non-vaccinated. So we're trying to make this event safe and good for everybody. So few details here you all need to know. You all, executive directors, board chairs, whoever you are responsible for contacting your board members, letting them know all of the details, getting them to RSVP, and putting that RSVP in the registration link. Woo! Thank you, Andy, for your registration link. So that is on you all. That is not on, this is not like forward this to your board members and just hope they decide to show up and register themselves, okay? So this is gonna take some one-on-one conversations with them, maybe a text message reminder, maybe a personal phone call to say like, hey, just checking in about our all board retreat and if you're gonna be there. I know for me, and the Lowell CDC board, we've decided to forego our normal October board meeting in lieu of this. So our board members are excited about this. Not all of them have RSVP'd yet, but the majority have RSVP'd in person. Some of them are gonna join online virtually for different reasons, and that is great. So you guys need to do that by October 15th, which is coming up here pretty quickly. So that's your number one responsibility, for you to organize your board members and your staff and get them all here, get them all the details, okay? That's on you. We need to order food. So we need to know how many people are in person. If they're gonna join virtually, we're not buying food for them, okay? They don't get a table decor, they don't get a name tag, they don't get dinner. If they're going to join virtually. But we need to know who's joining where and how to accommodate them. Okay, so get that all done by Monday for Andy to make all of our lives a little easier. Okay, second thing is, in order for all of us to be introduced at the beginning of the meeting and represent our organizations well, we will do it similar to like we did it last board retreat, in that we will have one presentation that will have each one of our organizations will have a slide. Okay, that slide is going to say geographically where are you at in the city, who you are, what's your name of your organization, and what you do. That could be big picture, mission, vision, maybe a bullet point of some of your programs, but really like, who are you? What do you do in the 30-second elevator pitch, right? So, hi, I'm Esther with the Lowell Community Development Corporation. We work in a downtown Fresno neighborhood. That right there, I don't have to like Side note, okay? I don't have to like tell my exact boundaries because that is going to visually be on the slide more than likely, okay? My logo is going to visually be on the slide. So my name is going to be up there and my location, okay? So we'll see, we work in a downtown neighborhood. We are focused on improving the quality of life for everyone through community engagement, through equitable housing, through outdoor education, and many more community-led initiatives, okay? There's my 30 seconds, my 45 seconds, okay? I'm off, the next person is in to introduce themselves, okay? This is really important for all of us executive directors to be there in person. We will all like line up towards the front, towards the stage, so we can just quickly go through these. We do not have 15, 20 minutes for all of us to wander up there and, okay, next up is Joe White, and he's sitting at the back of the building and needs to walk up here now to introduce himself, okay? So we will all go up there, and as the slides switch every 30, 45 seconds, we will introduce ourselves to get through very quickly, to be engaging so that people aren't like, right? So that's how we're gonna do it. If the ED decides not to be in person, okay? If you are not going to be there to represent your organization in person, if you get sick, if you have COVID at the last minute, like any of those things, you need person number 2 who can stand up there and do it. If there is nobody that can do it, you need to let me or Andy know so that one of us can introduce y'all. Okay, that's how it's going to go, because it's not going to work to introduce yourself virtually to the whole group in this kind of how we're doing it. Does that make sense? Okay, it'll be too disjointed. So we need all of that information. Andy needs all of that information again by Monday. Those of you who've been a part of the CEDP in 2019 and we did this together, we have most of your information, but you might want to just check with Andy and make sure there's nothing else that she needs. Okay, she has everyone's logo. She knows where your boundaries are. But if there's anything that needs to be updated from our last presentation in 2019 or 2020, actually, right before COVID hit, when we all joined, that's what we do. Okay, that's number 2 of importance. Number 3 of utmost importance is who is going to volunteer. Okay, Lowell CDC, Esther Carver, and Vicencia Abundis and Angie Conde are all going to be there before the event to help set up and do whatever else needs to happen. Okay, we're like, Andy, put us to work. What do we need to do? Okay, we also need welcome table. I see Crystal's already signed up to sit at the welcome table. Thank you, Crystal. We need another person to be at our welcome table. We need 2 or 3 people to be on our food team to help people get their food boxes. It's going to be all boxed dinners, very low touching and germs and all of that. But we need 2 or 3 people to help that table go smoothly. So you're going to need to be there a little bit early. Okay, if you can't be there early, don't sign up for that. Tech team. I'm assuming Lauren is going to be on that team because he's hosting, but I don't want to wrongly assume that. So if you're techie, if you can do Zooms and microphones and sound and Andrew, all of that, please sign yourself up for the tech team.
I thought I was. Did I just get demoted? I thought I was helping. Okay,
you're on there. I'm putting your name is number 1 right now. It's there.
I'll be Zoom. I'll be Zoom guru.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Zoom.
And then we also need tear down. So if you can stay late and help clean up after the event, we need like 6, 7, 8 people. The more people to help tear down, the easier it's going to be. So please drop in the chat right now. If you know what you can volunteer for, drop that in. And I will put your name down, and then you will be responsible to get yourself there and check in with Andy or whoever for that. Anything but tech. Thanks, Nicole. If you can be there early, you can do the setup and welcome table. But if you can't be there early, then you need to do the cleanup. Okay. I think that's all from me. Andy, did I get it all covered in my 10 minutes or less?
Yeah, that was awesome. I
Okay.
can't think of anything else. I know the rest of the team is on here. So if you guys can think of anything that we should mention really quickly, please feel free. So in the chat, I actually listed out the couple of things that we need volunteers for still. So use the chat or shoot me a text, email.
Okay.
Thank
Jasmine,
guys
do you
so
have a
much.
question?
Yes, that was for the 26th, right, of October?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Thank
Yep.
you.
And
Just a quick
April.
question.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Jose.
The topic, will there be like a presentation? You probably already said this, but please
Yes.
tell us. What's the
Our
subject?
agenda. Our agenda for the night is going to be super exciting. So we have Matthew Grundy from the city of Fresno, deputy mayor, coming to just share some One Fresno vision, right? We are all working in our different communities across Fresno, but it really takes our unity and the power of that to create change across our city. And so Matthew Grundy is going to come and give us some rah One Fresno motivation. And then we also have Jerry Brenneman, who was the executive director. I don't have her her correct bio in front of me, but she's been the executive director of Evangel Home for many, many, many years. I would say probably more than 20 years. She is now retired and she's consulting boards on how to be the best boards in the world. And so she is going to come and do our board development portion. And that portion is going to really focus on helping our boards tell our stories. So helping equip our boards to be able to tell the story of your organization well and share the vision and mission with their communities, with their contacts, help them understand their role in getting just sharing about our organizations, their role in contributing to our organizations, to the organization that they are volunteering for. In a way that's really meaningful to their circles of influence and in our community. So that's kind of going to be the focus of the evening and the board development portion. She's going to have some handouts for us. And I'm sure she'll have some great stories to share as well and examples for board members. So that's the bulk of the agenda. We will do introduce all of the organizations and who we are and where we are. So our board members are a little bit more familiar with the other people in the room. There'll be a little bit of networking. And then that's going to be the bulk of the evening. April, what was that, Jose?
The location, is it the same as last time or?
No, it's gonna be North Fresno Church, where Lauren is housed with Face. Yeah, North Fresno in the gymnasium. And then
Hey, do you have all the info? Do you have, Jose, do you have the info that Andy's been sending out that kind of has that stuff for, and then it gives you the link to send to your team? Do you need that sent to you again?
Yes, that'll be nice if I could get something more current.
No problem.
The registration link is in the chat as well, if you want to click on it there, and then it'll just be on your browser when you're done with the Zoom call today.
Okay.
April, I know you've secured our food. Is there any instructions if anybody has like a food allergy or anything like that they need to let you know? We haven't really given people options, but I wanted to ask you about that.
It's really pretty a simplistic menu. It's a choice of a tri-tip or chicken dinner with pilaf, salad, roll. What I didn't tell him that we had talked about when it was going to be more of a buffet style was if there was anybody that was strictly vegetarian, but it's going to be a box dinner. It was going to be buffet, and now we've switched it to box dinner. So you will literally pick up your dinner, your salad, your drink and everything. And that's a little bit safer. So it's not everybody breathing on it. So we're trying to be COVID safe still. There wasn't any ahead of time choosing. We'll at the end, and Andy's going to kind of just finalize things for me while I'm off those few days. But we're just going to pick a certain number of each of the dinners, and it'll be a grab a box dinner and go.
Thank you. All right, any other questions? Throw them in the chat, and either April or Andy or I or somebody will get back to you on that.
Thank you, Esther. That was awesome. Yeah, any questions, please feel free to come to me directly. We are actually, we were going to do several different chat rooms that we can go in and kind of have organized talk time, but we were running out of time. So I don't want to cut that chat time short for you guys. So I'm going to skip that part of the agenda. But for those of you who want to hang out after and talk about any of the items that were on the agenda, so we have outdoor equity grant conversation. I know a few of you guys are partnering together to work on that. Brainstorming our next work group to do within the CEDP. And then the last room was going to be recruiting and resident engagement to have conversation around that. So if any of those items are just interesting to you and you want to hang out and talk about them, I'm happy to organize the rooms and allow you guys the space to do that. So just hang out after. I also just have a quick announcement. I think you guys might have seen it in last week's newsletter on the 14th. So I think it's next Thursday, we put a CEDP dinner at Gazebo Gardens on the calendar. So that's just an optional event. It's meant to just create space for you all, for us all to get together, have dinner, hang out, meet each other's families, and just keep catching up and having moments where we can chat and network. So any of you guys, if you're free that night, please join us. I hear there's good drinks. We know there's good food. So please mark that down. And then I'm not keeping up with the chat. So if I'm missing anything important, please shout it out now. Or if there's any items that any of you want to bring up really quickly before we say goodbye, please feel free to do that.
Andy, what was the gazebo garden Thursday? I missed the actual date.
Yeah, next Thursday, the 14th.
Next Thursday, okay.
And I just called it a drop-in event, so anytime between 6 to 8.
Andy, I wanted to really brief clarify something. Andrew is wonderful, and when I said that the process was the exclusionary, I can't remember the word I used. It was because there was not enough time. And we ran out of time. And when I was getting ready to make my presentation, the clock started to click and said that it was time to go. But I don't want it to be misinterpreted. Andrew was wonderful. He gave us all the opportunity to say something, but we ran out of time. So I don't want it to be misunderstood.
Oh, thanks, Jose.
Andrew's great.
I'm hearing that Andrew's
I got you,
wonderful,
Jose.
just over and over. So we all agree. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks, Jose. That's awesome.
Well,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, we're trying to just I think with the CD planning of this meeting, we're trying to get creative. We're trying to try new things, right? So I think, it's even good, Jose, is you have stuff, if any of you have something really burning as a conversation point, you're like, hey, as we come to this meeting this month, I want to make sure it's on the agenda, or let's talk about this, or hey, we have a really important announcement. One, I'd say let Andy know. Two, like, you also have everybody's email. So, send out an email, say, hey, partner, just want to let you know this is happening. Here's something we're thinking about. So, feel free to use that as well. So
October 22nd, we have Latino Fiesta at Phillips Park. Just want to tell you, a wonderful event. And I know Gabe sent you all the announcement, but I hope you're able to join us.
Fun. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything going on in their orgs that they want to either add to the chat so that we can be aware of or help support, or just say aloud now before we say goodbye? And just to reiterate what Andrew was saying, I put together the agenda just to help keep us focused and build in some conversation that's relevant to what's going on in this month. But everyone is always allowed feedback on that. So call, text me, email me. I think you guys all know how to get a hold of me since we chat all the time. So just let me know if ever there's anything pressing to add, and I'm happy to do that. But until next time, hopefully I'll see you guys all on Thursday if you're able. And then please reach out to me during the month if there's any extra support that we need, you need. We have a lot of events this month, so if ever you guys need specific invitations, registration links, or anything like that, check the weekly newsletter or give me a call. And hang out still if you guys want to chat about any of those 3 things that were on the agenda.
Are we logging off and logging back on, Andy, for the?
Yeah, I think there's another link. She's talking about, we have an all board planning meeting right after this, but there's another link if we want to just jump onto that so that this can stay open.
Awesome. Okay.
Sweet. Bye, guys. Good to see you.
Andy, I just entered it in the chat, but do you mind adding me to that? Sorry. I know there's so many messages. Do you mind
I'm
adding
happy
me
to
to
add
the
you.
newsletter?
Yes, I'm happy to.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
great to see you. Hey, do you have any questions before I close up this chat room?
No, none at this moment. I actually have someone to reach out to already because they're hosting an event somewhere. It sounds like the Cultural Arts District Park, so I'm going to do that. But I will be there next Thursday, so I
Okay.
have more time to chat with everybody.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. It's good to see you again.
Perfect. Good seeing you too, Andy. Have a great day.
Oh, hey, and just for tomorrow, the newsletter is sent every Thursday around 2
Oh.
o'clock. But the first couple of newsletters always go to spam. So check
I'll
your
double
spam
check.
tomorrow
Okay.
afternoon. And once you open it once or twice is when your inbox learns and we'll
We'll
send it
know.
to your main. Cool.
All right.
All right,
Sounds
thanks,
good.
friends. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.